Hey guys, it's Natalie with Treasures of Mini, and today again, since I'm still not walking yet and having to do videos from my chair, I'm just going to share with you guys some of the other things that I have discovered using photo paper. If you go and look at some of my previous videos over the past few weeks that talk about distress oxide inks and photo paper, you will see kind of what I'm talking about. Also, in my last video, I had said that I've been experimenting with lots of other different inks and mediums that I have in my craft room that you could try to get the same results from if you don't have the distress oxide inks. So I'm going to share with you a little stack of what I experimented with. So right now, if you can see the rainbow and the stars on these few pages, I'm going to tell you about those after I'm done talking about the background. So this is the distress oxide inks, and you can see how I used 3 colors, and if you look at this, you can see all 3 of the colors. I used cracked pistachio, faded jeans, and broken china. And it's shiny and it's pretty and we love it. We've been using it. But like I said, not everybody has them. So I wanted to try to see if we could come up with something close to it. So the next one I used regular distress inks. And I want to go ahead and tell you, on all of these methods, I did the same method. I put the color down here, sprayed water, and dipped. Then dried it, another color, spray water, dip. Because I wanted to try to find what medium you could use with the same technique and try to get the same results. So this is the distress inks. It's really pretty, and it is pretty darn close, and it is shiny just like the oxide inks. And it kind of runs together. Like on these, you can see the exact definition, and you can tell that it's building up on each other, where this is just kind of, I don't know, it's not as defined, but it still works. So then I got to thinking, what about regular chalk inks? You know, these that we probably all got like 2.5, 3 years ago when they were really popular and cool. For this piece I'm fixing to show you, these are the 3 inks that I used. So here's what it did. This is very pretty. You can see it's not shiny. It's very chalk-like. So with the oxide inks, where it looks chalk-like, but then you can rub it really good, and then the chalk comes, the chalk part comes off and it's really shiny and bright. This won't do that. But you can get, a pretty background, a pretty layering of color. You have to watch out for it it will kind of start to bleed into each other. You got to make sure you're drying in between each layer. So, I mean, yeah, it works. So then I got to thinking about Brusho. How would Brusho work? And Brusho actually works really good, and it's really, really, really cool. On this piece, I used turquoise, ultramarine, and purple. And all I do when I use the Brusho is I just get it out and do little sprinkles around it. Then I take my water bottle and I spray it with water. And I don't even have to really move it around, because it kind of makes all these little bursts of colors on its own. And then I kind of let it sit for a few minutes and wait and see, if there's more places I want to add, I'll go back in and sprinkle a little bit more of the crystals down and spray a little bit more water. But it dries pretty darn quick. So But because Brusho reacts so quickly to the water, I mean, it dries really quick too. But you have a little bit of time to move it around. But anyway, you can see this still lets you have the shiny gloss of the photo paper, and it just looks so much dimension, and I love it. This is supposed to be a medium or ground that will turn any surface into a watercolor surface. So with a sponge and this stencil, after all of my backgrounds had dried and I knew they were good and dry, I went in and with the medium, and I sponged it over, let it dry for about 15-20 minutes, and then did one more layer. So on all these I did 2 layers. On that second layer I just took it out and let it dry. They all dried overnight, and then this morning I started painting them. All of them I painted with something different, and that's what I want to show you. First one I did with just regular watercolors. You can do wet on wet, and it's really neat, this medium. The other thing that I like about it is you can do a background, and because it's white, you don't have to mask anything. You just put this right over the top of your background, and it covers up what's underneath it. So I'm wetting this down really good. And then I'm going to, sorry about my arm, I hate to reach across. I'm getting some purple. And hopefully you will be able to see this happen. You can see it run. It moves so pretty on its own. And you can mix in it. But for the big star, I actually used my 8 twinkling H2Os and painted the big star in the gold. So there's that one. And it was really nice. It really moves. This isn't showing its true potential, but I'm just trying to show you some of the ways you can use this stuff. It did peel up right here, but that was my fault because I have tried peeling it up in some of the other places. After it is set overnight, it won't do that. This is still fresh because it's kind of wet from when I was painting it earlier. So when it's wet, try not to rub at it too much like I just did. Oh, here are the colors that I used with my zigs. For this one, I used those 2 green ones. This was my blue, and I just kind of added the darker up here and then worked my way down. Here was my pink. And the last one I decided to do was purple. And somehow, oh, here it is. So these are what I'm going to use for the purple. So with the zigs, the way I'd been doing it, and these flow really nice. I really like how the zigs do on this medium. I think if you took a little bit more time with this medium and really laid it down nicely. Again, I was in this chair stuck, and don't really feel that good all the time, and I knew that I wanted to experiment with this and that I wanted to have lots of examples for you guys, so I was kind of rushing through this. I don't know why, because it's not like I could go anywhere, but I was. And I also only put 2 coats on. You could put, it actually said 2 to 3. I think 3 would work better, so just keep that in mind. So I did the same with the star. I used twinkling H2Os, and I used a yellow zig marker and then went over it with Winkostella. So I used the red, then the orange, or I think I used that orange, then yellow, and now I'm going to use the purple, and I'm going to show you how I did that. So on each of these, all I did was just put down a little bit on my mat, just like that, and not using a lot of water. You don't want to soak this because then it's just really watery and you lose the color. You kind of want it to be creamy, thick, sort of, but you want it to spread. I came in here and I used it as paint, as like a watercolor paint. And I did it for all 3 of these. I gotta tell you, I think I had the most fun painting on this medium with these color box pigment inks. I mean, I really wouldn't have ever thought to do this. I don't know why. I just wouldn't have thought to do it. But I mean, it goes on creamy, and you can move it around so nice. I wish I had a darker purple because I'd really like it to be. I actually have this blue right here. Maybe I can. Oh, it seems green on there though, doesn't it? I don't know, let's try it. See if I can make it look just a little different. A little darker. I don't know. But you can just keep building it up. Again, though, with these, you don't want your brush like real wet. All right. So, there it is. But I did these with gelatos, and I was having so much fun that I got carried away and I painted all of them, and then I realized I didn't leave one to show you guys what I did. So I'm just going to pretend to redo the yellow edge because I think you'll be able to see me actually put this one on. So I laid down the lighter one over the whole spot, and then the darker one, just using the edge, just like find a kind of a sharp edge, I just put it on the top. So I think you can see that, how it's laid down on there. And then I came in with my water brush and I just started working it around, kind of making like small little circles, kind of working it into the tooth of the paper. Look how pretty that is. And since I have some medium on my brush already, I think I'll come in here. You can see the little hearts. I'll just go ahead and paint it on the hearts. If I were going to do these hearts, well, I am going to do the hearts. So for this, I wouldn't try to put that on my paper. I would just make me a little spot down here and dip into it, and then bring it up to my paper. All right. So I think I don't know. I think I had the most fun with the gelatos. Again, that could be because I feel bad because I have them and my husband spent so much money on them and I just don't really use them that much. But it really was a lot of fun, especially on this ones that I used the metallic on. They're so pretty. But anyway, I went on and did the stars, and here's that one. Now, I think I'm going to turn this one into a birthday card. I kind of purposely saved this spot over here for a sentiment. Or I could do right down here. I have a couple of stamp sets. I think I got one by Lawn Fawn that's kind of like Shoot for the Stars or something like that I could do. And I will put a couple of I'll put some pictures on my Facebook and my blog, treasuresofmini.blogspot.com. I think that's the way it goes. I'm not sure. I'm very new to this blog thing. And my Facebook, Treasures of Mini, as well, and Instagram, Treasures of Mini. So here's this one. So that's it for what I had to show you. I was just trying to find a way that if you had seen this technique and you had been wanting to try it and you have a bunch of photo papers but you don't have oxide inks, I wanted to give some other options. So now, real quick, I thought I would just show you a few of the things that I have been working on, just playing. These two are the Hero Arts ombre pads. Used a brayer on them, and I just laid this color down. What I do want to tell you is it shows every mark, so you have to be okay with that outcome. Also, when the ink is dry, it'll look like it has like a white film over it. You just wipe that off and it's nice and shiny. With this one, I took a stamp of a building and I put kind of lightly with a sponge, put some bleach and stamped it. It's not very bright, but it's there. I thought that was kind of neat. These two, I had the most fun. I used a stencil and twinkling H2Os. Gosh, look at how pretty. And the Distress Oxide inks. Isn't it so pretty? If you want to see a video on this one, let me know, because I'm probably going to hoard these two. These are just gorgeous. Love them. So then I thought I would try alcohol inks. They don't move at all. So what I did first was on the little alcohol felt pad, I put red and silver. Two kinds of reds, like a watermelon and a rose, I think it was, and silver. And I just dotted it all over the page, and it doesn't move. When it's there, it's there. So I dotted it all over the page, and then I took, I'm not sure, guys. I don't know what I did, but I just brayered over the top of the alcohol ink. And you can see it changed the color of the alcohol ink too, but it left this cool little like pattern on the back. So there's that one. This one, I used a brayer and covered the entire back of the piece with cracked pistachio. Then I went in with some bleach and I stamped some of these with the bleach. And I used a Q-tip to get the little white centers. Then I went in and stamped other fireworks in several different colors with the oxide inks. Then I wiped it all off, and this is what I had left. And I really like this one too. I think it's really cool. Then I did this one, which is cracked pistachio, faded jeans, and broken china. And I brayered each layer on. I would just, I just used my brayered it on. And then I stamped these stars also with oxide inks from the broken china, and then wiped it off. Isn't that pretty? I don't know what I'm going to do with half of these, but I'm just sharing. This one is Brusho, and how cool is it? And then I also stamped on top. These are numbers. They're 6s. I wanted to see what would happen if I stamped on top of the Brusho with oxide inks, but isn't that cool? Thought it was pretty neat. This is going to be my next video. It's going to be about this and how I got this cool technique. So this is what I was doing. And then when I pulled my stencil up, it still had ink on it. And I don't want to just waste that ink. So I laid it down on another piece to get that ink too. So you end up getting 2 pieces going while you're working on it. And that's the exact same way that this happened. I had laid the stencil down, inked it up, then picked up my stencil, and there's ink on it still. So I usually just damp it with a water bottle and lay it down on another piece of paper, and you get like the negative. So you get the negative and the positive of your stencil. So on the next video, I'm going to show you how I did this using Brusho. This is really cool. And then after that one, if y'all are sick of the photo papers, I think I have about exhausted all of the mediums that I have to use on glossy photo paper, I think. And I'm ready to kind of start doing some other stuff. But I've had so much fun with this. And I think the biggest reason is because, well, I discovered something for once. And it made me really happy. So I'm just going to show you these again. Brusho and the Color Box pigment inks to paint. Distress inks, Zig watercolors to paint. Chalk inks, regular watercolor to paint, any of your choice. Gelatos to paint. And Distress Oxide ink backgrounds. So that's what we got, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I'm sorry these videos are longer. It's really hard for me to edit from my chair. Please give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and share me on your social media pages to your friends and family. Also, I want to say thank you to everyone that has been posting on my videos, about my videos, and wishing me, saying prayers and well recovery. I am a lot better. I should be able to start walking a little bit next week with assistance. But one other thing, I'm going to show you how to do this. I painted this flower with Distress Oxides on photo paper, and I'm going to have a video on how to do this, but it's not going to be just this. I'm actually going to have a whole little bouquet that we're going to paint for a card. Anyway, until next time, friends, hugs and loves from my crafting recliner to your craft room. Bye.